All right. Hi, Rupen here from Sportsmanor, Jonathan Haggerty. The general congratulations on your super dominant victory, first of all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And how does it feel? Your thoughts? I would just love to hear your thoughts because we spoke to you before the fight, and I think we were speaking about something like how fans really anticipate a knockout, and you delivered. And now you're two-time sport champion, and this is exactly what you envisioned and exactly what you worked for and exactly what you dreamt of. So how does it feel to be on the other side?
Yeah, it feels great. Thank you. It hasn't sunk in yet. I'm pretty sure I've just landed in Koh Samui today, so tomorrow is the day to relax a little bit more. So maybe it will sink in tomorrow. But yeah, I'm feeling great. Thank you. Feeling very thankful. I told you I'm coming for the knockout, and I put trust in my training camp, and left no stone unturned. I put trust in my trainer, and training was hard for a reason because we was going in there to do a demolition job, and I feel like that's what we've done.
Beautiful. I want to talk about your training camp going into this fight and more specifically your game plan going into this fight. What exactly was your game plan that your team and you strategized on?
This training camp was a long training camp. It was a 12-week training camp. It was emotional, physically, mentally. Having to move, I moved country to live out into Thailand as well. So I moved my whole life from the UK to Thailand in the middle of the fight camp. So yeah, it was tough, but we got through it. And the game plan really was, we knew he was a southpaw, and I
Yeah.
worked quite well against southpaws. It was just to keep moving to his left to stop his rhythm and making him reset. And we also implemented leg kicks, a lot of leg kicks. I feel like my hands were going to be the key to success,
Right.
which the left hook works quite well with the southpaw. So I was using that quite often, and I felt like the game plan went a little bit out the window when I hurt him. I
Right.
sort of rushed in a little bit. I didn't really take my time, but I just needed to get him out of there, and I felt like I could, so I just went for it, and that was it.
Right. I think you said this even in the post fight, right? At the ring, you said you do work well with southpaws. Now, is that because your training camp, or because of your past experience, or is it just that your left hook are keeping him to as you said, keeping his movement restricted, right? Is that did your training camp have to do with that?
I think what it is with me, a lot of people struggle when they come up against southpaws. A lot of people
Hmm.
struggle, so I took the time out and worked on myself and told myself I will never struggle when I come up against a southpaw. So now to this day, I know how to beat southpaws. I am the southpaw's worst enemy for sure. So yeah, I worked on myself. I knew what I needed to do, and I got it done.
I think that's something that's really amazing, right? Because you foresaw this right at the early stages of your career, right? Working against
Yeah.
the southpaw, and really, is that something that you looked at other fighters probably not focusing on as much, where they fought mostly in orthodox, and you said like, I'm going to be good against fighters who fight in orthodox as well as in southpaw. Is that something that you consciously, deliberately made up your mind on?
1,000,000%. Every time I watch fighters, they fight against southpaws, and they're moving to the wrong side. I'm not sure if they're doing it because they don't know they're doing it, but I see them moving to the wrong side, and I feel like if only I could tell them what to do and how to beat a southpaw, it'll be so much easier for them. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of people should be working on, if they ever come up against a southpaw, to be working against it for
Got it.
sure.
Uh, I want to talk about round one, but before talking about round one, I really want to talk because you brought up an interesting point about how the game plan kind of went out of the window when you rocked him right and got his feet to wobble a bit with the head kick, especially right now setting up that leg kick, which was beautiful. I think there was people don't appreciate it as much, but there was a beautiful setup leading up to the head kick because you got him to move right, and then you perfectly placed it, perfectly timed it. Now, again, was this something that you guys had drilled time and time again at the camp? Is this something that was part of the game plan, or was that something that you saw an opening towards and rushed into?
Yeah, so if you watch back, head kicks is was definitely the game plan in his fight camp. I tried him early off in the fight, but he was just a bit too fresh and was able
Right.
to move out of the way
Yeah.
too quick to move out of the way. So I thought I'd take my time. But yeah, if you see there's a few clips that on fight week I was training in the fight training room, and I was doing loads of head kicks. Um, to be honest, the shot I was leading up to a scissor knee, I was going in for a scissor knee, so I switched for a scissor knee, and
Right.
all of a sudden, these hands drop. So mid scissor knee, I threw the left kick out. I've done it before in a fight before. This is the second time I've done it and knocked someone out. So I'm in the middle of doing a scissor knee, but my mind sort of goes, his hands have dropped. So get the kick up. So I've just gone bang, hit him at the top of the head with a kick.
Well,
So I think
kind
it's just a natural instinct to just flick the
right.
kick out.
And that's extremely split decision thinking, I should say. That was in a fraction of
for
a
sure, on the
second,
spot.
right? Like the way it looked to me, I was talking to the boys over here as we were analyzing the fight. It almost seemed like you were feinting with the right to get him to move and then throw the. But I did not know that that was so beautifully timed, because you were hitting the scissor knee and then you saw his hands drop for that fraction of a second and then landed it, right?
Exactly that.
That's beautiful. But I think post that, I want to talk about the moment post landing the head kick, because clearly his legs started to give way. He was down.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like you went into the Matrix. It was like, it was just an aggressive attack, one after the other after that, right? Now, was that adrenaline just taking over the game plan?
Yeah. 100%. You know, once I was doing it and I was going for it, I could feel myself pulling like mad faces while I was throwing punches. And I was telling myself, you need to calm down, because if he recovers and you've let your whole steam out. But also I want to put across, once I was throwing them flurries of punches and trying to get him out of there, I had a picture in my head of the Nongo fight, a
Right.
flashback playback, and it was crazy. I've never experienced it before in all my life. But as I'm going for it, I got a flashback of the Nongo fight. Like, it was playing out in my head as I was punching Andrade. So it was crazy.
Right. And what did your team think about it? Because it did seem very aggressive, right? And you had everyone almost at the edge of their seats, like this could go either way at any moment, right? Because it is very aggressive. So what did your coaches, what did your camp, and what did your team say about it post fight? Because clearly it got the job done. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. That's the main thing. I got the job done. So they was pretty happy I got the job done. But there's always room for improvements. Like my trainer always says, it could be a masterclass performance, but I could always do better. And I think that's why I'm such a good athlete. You know, I always look to improve. I'm never happy. Well, I'm happy with how it went, but I know I could do a lot better. So I move on and make improvements. Yeah, it was pretty. I rushed in a little bit. I did rush a little bit, but when I smelt blood, I went for it.
Right. I think, see, that's the most interesting thing about fighting, right? Because no matter how many people you have in your training camp, and no matter how much of training you've done at different places and changing countries, and when you're at the ring, it's only up to you to make decisions and decide what to do and what not to do.
100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
interesting. Just was wondering. So have you gotten? I know it's been like a success party after your dominant victory, but have you gotten the time to like sit with your coaches and analyze the entire fight, and what have they thought about it?
Yeah, I've watched the fight about 50 times. I think my girlfriend's getting a little bit fed up with me keep watching it, and I'm even watching it to the point from the actual start of the fight where I'm walking out and I'm doing the ring walk.
So you watched the entire thing, right?
I watched the whole thing. I think I've watched it more than I watched the Nongo fight.
Right.
I'm very happy with my performance, if I'm honest. I felt at home at kickboxing. I was a bit worried at the start because I didn't know if I was going to throw an elbow by accident, or just like out of nowhere throw an elbow and forget, if I was going to catch the kick and like not do the kickboxing rules, because I'm not used to it. But I feel like I adapted pretty well, and I'll be saying that in most interviews. I'm a fighter and I can adapt, and that just goes to show that why I am the kickboxing and Muay Thai world champion.
Right, for sure. What about round one? He like you said, he was quite fresh in round one, right? He dodged the kick to the head kick. I think also he did throw in a significant number of leg kicks, right? There were a few inside leg kicks and a few calf kicks. And did that not wobble you or rock you? And what was your mindset, soldiering through all of that? Clearly, I should also give you props for it. You were definitely dominant even in round one, right? But you did take those leg kicks, and did that at some point cause you to change your game plan? Probably relook at things, rethink of things? Yeah.
Not necessarily. I always I was sticking to the game plan, but I remember him throwing a few leg kicks, and I wasn't blocking them because I wasn't really expecting to leg kick. But I didn't block about the first 4 or 5, and I was thinking, yeah, I've got to start blocking these kicks. So I started blocking, and as I started blocking, as I said in post interviews, once I start blocking these kicks, he's not gonna have anything else to do. So I started blocking the kicks well, and started working on my hands. So blocking the kicks and working on the hands. So if we ever did have a rematch, I'll know how to knock him out in round 1 this time.
Got
for
it.
sure.
Got it. You bring up another interesting segue, right? You said blocking the kicks would give him little to work with, right? But now transitioning into the next big milestone that you've set for yourself, which is obviously the MMA belt, right? How do you see yourself transitioning from this point on into the MMA, the fighting for the MMA belt?
I have a very good chance, if I'm honest. I think I've already beat him on the stand up.
Yeah.
There's no way he can't beat me in the stand up game at all. We've just seen that on the weekend, and I feel like his speciality is a stand up fighter. He's not a grappler. He's not a wrestler. He's not a jiu-jitsu fighter. He wins by stand up knockouts. So what's he gonna do when I get in there and I outstrike him again? I feel like I have a great chance of becoming the free sport world champion. If I'm totally honest.
Right. And can you talk to me about your MMA experience? Like, have you how I mean about your prominent MMA fights, be it like with or you could even tell me about your jiu-jitsu and your wrestling, and have you competed at at what level? If you can tell me more about it.
Yeah, so my dad had an MMA gym, and growing up, I was around all MMA fighters. I was doing MMA myself. I was doing like a few classes here and there. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on my ability on the ground. All it needs is a little bit of touch up, a few more fundamental, and the main thing really is takedown defense.
Right.
Once I've got a takedown defense, and I'm pretty solid. Like I said, I'm a quick learner. So I feel like I'm going to be very dangerous in the MMA world. For
Beautiful,
sure.
beautiful. And I think talking about takedown defense, Henry Cejudo very, very amazingly, pointed out your dominant head kick and the way you won this entire fight, right? And is also offered to teach you about the takedown defense and train with you. Is this something that you're looking to take up? I think there have been a couple of offers. Has this week been a lot of offers from people from the MMA world asking you to train with them?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely up for exchanging numbers and getting this going. I'm serious about it. I want to be known as one of the greatest to ever do it, and I'll team up with him if I feel like he's gonna up my game for sure. Let's get this working. Also, the two brothers that fought on the same card as me, the jiu-jitsu champs, they're willing to work with me. So I feel like I'm in great hands already. So
Yeah,
Fabricio, watch out.
great. That's awesome to hear.
I mean, Fabricio's gonna hate me for keep calling his name, but it's what I'm in it for. If he would have beat me for if he would have beat me for the kickboxing belt, he would be screaming he wants a Muay Thai
Yeah,
belt also. So
right.
why not? The opportunity's here.
That's just
So
the fight business, I guess. Right.
it's the fight business, and I'm here to take him out.
Right. Here's another thing which I mean, which is really endearing to know is that though it does seem on like really broader an outlook that the fighting world is segmented into various promotions, but one thing that I think all of us can agree on, right, is that the fighters, all of you guys, seem to be very united, right, and seem to be watching out for each other and looking out for each other and learning from each other, which is also very, very amazing to see when Cejudo offered to train with you and offered to teach, called out your name and praised you and gave you flowers for the victory, right? So can you talk me through that about how you've been, how are the other fighters dealing with you, and how is the sense of community being developed in the fight world?
Yeah, it's great. Ever since joining One Championship, I've had a lot of recognition. I've had great champions reach out. I've even had champions reach out and want to get to train with me and get some working. So there'll be some link ups coming soon. And yeah, it's just great. The fighting community is great. We've all got respect for each other. We all know what it takes to get in there. and how hard it can be sometimes, and how lonely it can be. So we all respect each other and look out for each other, like you said, for sure.
Beautiful. And since you've competed in Britain and Asia as well, right? Do you see a stark difference between A, talent, and B, promotions?
Yeah, for sure. Nobody's doing it like One Championship. Greatest organization in the world, in my opinion. They give the fans what the fans want. They've always got surprises. It got excitement. Every fight card that they put out, like it's like wow. It's always they always up their game. That's one thing I like about One Championship. They always up their game and always looking to do better.
Beautiful. And how far away do you feel is MMA or kickboxing or Muay Thai? How far away from seeing it in the Olympics?
I think we're very far away from it. If I'm quite honest, I wouldn't get your hopes up, but it'll be great. It will be great. But I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Yeah, got it. I think we're good. Jonathan Haggerty, it's been a pleasure watching you get this victory and get the second belt. And we wish you all the best as you progress and transition into achieving your next dream of winning the MMA belt. All the best and
Thank you.
cheers.
Thank you for watching and following my career. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks. Yeah. That way.
Thank you.